do you believe that people are ever fully recovered, or is it a recovery for, their life? That I feel that I don't know if I'm ever going to get to a point where I feel that I'm recovered, but that I have to sort of, I like to say, as I evolve, my recovery has to evolve with me. And I'm curious, as a professional, is that something where do you stand on that? Is it something that you feel people can, just be recovered from whatever, their diagnosis was, or is it something they're just going to have to find a way to accept, live with, and manage?
It's a really good question, because I don't think as an industry that we even agree on what recovery actually constitutes. And I think it's a very broad term. I think it's a term that's been hijacked in a way by the 12-step influence. And I think recovery comes in, if you want to put it in a lot of ways, it comes in many different forms. I think the big part here is, how does the person want to look at it? If someone is happy to identify for the rest of their lives as an addict or an alcoholic, and that they're working their recovery, I think that's absolutely fine. And I think that if that fits for that person, and that as a treatment professional, that's where we want to work with them. That's what, that's the approach that they feel most comfortable with. For other people, they don't want to identify like that. So if I'm trying to tell them that, no, you're an alcoholic or an addict for the rest of your life, and that you're never, you're always going to be in recovery, you're never going to be recovered.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, well, I'm not fucking doing that. And you see where the problem is. So I really think that it's really important about, okay, what is the person I'm working with, what is it that they're going to find most useful? Because I think we always have to start with the part about what does the person want? We might think we know best, and sometimes we do know best, but we've got to start with the part about what does the person want? What is the person's goals? So, for example, someone comes in to rehab. My goal is, I don't want to stop drinking. I want to sort of go out and be able to manage my drinking.
Right.
Now, do I spend the next month telling him that he's in denial, or do I at least try to do some work with him?
It's the latter, for sure. You have to meet them where they are and work with
where
them.
that person is at. I might not agree with him. I might have all the evidence that says to me, I don't think you can drink anymore.
They have to come to that conclusion on their own.
They have to come to that conclusion.
You're right.
And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer for them to work find out what is going to work for them. But ultimately, if they have their own advocacy in that decision, that's really important. I think it's a really tough one, because I think for far too long, as treatment providers over the years, we've tried to shoehorn people into a certain way of doing stuff. And we've told people that if you don't do it this way, you're going to die, you're going to end up in jail, you're going to end up in an institution. And that doesn't really send out a message of hope, does it?
No, I laugh because, I know people. I'm active in the 12-step program, and it's become my baseline. I work, I do stuff outside of that, but I use it as a baseline for me for me, I have something that I know that if it gets really hard for me, I have this thing, this system, this program, whatever, that I can fall back on and know that I'm not going to sink below that level. But I also know that I cannot live my life just maintaining at this. And I feel and find, honestly, in my own conversation and experience, that this is it. You maintain this, or you're going to fucking die. I don't subscribe to that. And that turns people off. That scares people away. And I think it entirely defeats the purpose of what the original message was supposed to be, is that, hey, we figured something out that's going to work. And if you want to try it out, come try it out. And that's the basis, right? But this whole idea that if you don't do exactly this, then you're fucked. I don't play that. And so many people don't. And I think that it's important to, like you said, meet them where they are, find out what they want, and try and work with that.
Yeah. I mean, it might work out, it might not. But at least that person has got, and I think this is where choice is really important. But I think also I always add that extra bit is informed choice. Okay, if you're going to make this choice, this is, these are some of the things that you have to consider. These are some of the things that might be might be a challenge. You have to give them a little bit more than just like, well, you can't drink, otherwise you're going to die, or if you don't stop drinking, your wife is going to leave you. That's not necessarily going to be, enough.
No, usually you get the opposite effect, is that they're like, well, fuck you. Who do you think I am?
You're telling me I'm fucked.
So you're telling me I'm fucked. So then, well, screw it. And then let her leave. I'll just keep going until I am dead.